Hello, welcome back to Heretic Owl Tarot. My name is Liz, and I will be guiding you on this journey today. This is a reading for Gemini, wherever Gemini shows up for you. Whoop. I wasn't quite ready to take cards yet, so okay. So, I want to get a couple good shuffles in, and then we'll take some cards. I don't really have like a plan for the spread. So we're taking a couple cards that come out on their own. Nothing crazy. I just want to talk to you guys for like, I don't know, 15, 20 minutes, 25 maybe came to mind. We'll see. If you haven't done so already, I would absolutely love it if you subscribed to my channel. I'm so glad that we're here. Okay, here we go. We have the Magician, we have the Three of Swords, the Seven of Cups, and the King of Cups. Two of Swords at the bottom of the deck, Nine of Wands, the Emperor, Eight of Wands. It's kind of funny. I don't think there's enough room for, well, maybe. We'll see. I think it's kind of funny because I don't know about the Devil card, but these two cards were two of the cards that came out right at the beginning. And what's so funny is that happened with Taurus too. I just did the Taurus reading, and literally I had to like stop and go check the tape because like a little stack of cards came out, and I was like, no, I'm not ready yet. And then literally the same cards came out again, like a couple shuffles later, and I was like, okay, I'll take them. But yeah, like I had to go back and like watch the video to be sure. But anyway, I do think that it's interesting that at the top of the deck, like what are the odds that two of the cards that came out were there. So anyway, we have the Magician, Three of Swords, Seven of Cups, King of Cups, the Wise One or the Hierophant, Five of Pentacles, and the Devil card. And then Two of Swords at the bottom of the deck. The Magician is actually Mercury, so it is Gemini or Virgo card. The Wise One or the Hierophant is Taurus. The Devil is Capricorn. It's interesting because I'm like sitting here looking around this spread, and I keep going to the numbers and how, like on this side, for the most part, they're all lower numbers. And for whatever reason, it's giving like starting over vibes. But in the sense of, or like just beginning stages, we have a 1, a 3, we have 2 5s down here. Over here is, the Seven of Cups, the Devil is 15. The King of Cups is the highest expression of the suit. There's like this, I don't know, I keep hearing like push to achieve, but like, being at the bottom and wanting to be at the top type of thing. So I don't know. Let's just start talking about, it's just so interesting how that kind of came through. But the Magician is a 1, right? So it is a beginning. Anytime the Magician comes out too, the message behind it is that you literally have exactly what you need right now to manifest the thing that you want. It's, you are not lacking in anything. You're not lacking in experience. You're not lacking in intelligence. You're not lacking in resources, because I think a lot of times that's kind of where we end up getting tripped up is, I don't have enough this. I don't know enough that. I don't have this, right? And so anytime the Magician shows up, especially too, like at the beginning of the reading, it's like, let's just start there, right? That you have the right amount of whatever it is. And too, I always think of Harry Potter and the Sword of Gryffindor because the Sword of Gryffindor shows up for exactly who needs it, for the exact purpose that they need it for, at the exact time that they need it. Right, and that is magician energy. If there is something that you don't have now, it will show up for you when you need it, whether it's a connection, whether it's information, whether it's, a resource, money, whatever it is. It will show up for you right when you need it, for the purpose that you need it, for as long as you need it for. The catch is you have to move forward, right? Like you just have to start. And it's interesting that the Hierophant is like right between the Magician and the Three of Swords, because the Hierophant in this deck, he's called the Wise One. And he's represented by like a healer, or even a shaman. And there's these two people, sitting there with him, whether, receiving the healing or witnessing or learning too. Because that's, the Hierophant is passing along information to others. Like, you think about going to school, right? The teachers have the knowledge, they have the experience, the expertise that they are passing along, that they are sharing with you, so that you can become educated, you can be informed of, the subject. And then you become the person who, right? Like you kind of pass it along too. And I also love that literally I was just talking about whatever you need will show up for you at exactly the time that you need it. That's also the Hierophant. And also, like you could be the one in somebody else's life, because you, like I said, you have to start, right? You have to move forward in order for any of this to start clicking, right? Like I just kind of see like a wheel in my head moving, like gears start turning, right? And also too, like how those gears are connected to other mechanics or mechanisms or whatever, that again, like if that wheel doesn't start moving, nothing else can. Right? So it's kind of like this butterfly effect, that all of a sudden it's interesting how this is like blossoming or like opening up now. Because truly, right? Like by you getting started, however that looks, it could be baby steps, right? It doesn't have to be like whatever, but starting to research something, starting to have conversations with people, getting involved in communities, or I don't know, whatever it is though, right? Like eventually you will come across the person that will provide you with the information, the knowledge, whatever it is, the connection, whatever it is that you need. Or again, you could be that for somebody else. And in this deck, there's two depictions of the Three of Swords. There's the traditional one that has to do with like heartbreak and disappointment. And then there's this one. And let me just read from the book, since this is specific, to this deck. It says, some people have a different way of interpreting the Three of Swords based on the numerological properties of the number 3, the triad. Because the suit of swords deals with the element of air and therefore the mind, the suit as a whole can be interpreted as a progression from unknowing to knowing. Since the Ace of Swords, associated with number 1, also known as the monad, is a card that brings a discovery of truth, the number 1 is the creative big bang of the mind, which is so fucking interesting because we have the Magician right next to it, which is a 1. It's Mercury, which, is the planet that rules over Gemini and Virgo, but Gemini, right? So Gemini being an air sign, right? Right? Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. Yeah, I don't know why for some reason I was like, that's not right. Okay. The Two of Swords associated with the number 2, the dyad, is all about duality and the choices of the mind, which we have at the bottom of the deck. So that's interesting. Now we've reached number 3, the triad. In the Three of Swords, where what we've learned from the Ace of Swords, 1 equaling truth and creativity, combined with the Two of Swords, 2, the ability to make choices and proper discernment, brings us to the growth and expansion of the mind through multiplicity, many ways of thinking and seeing things. It calls for harmony and equilibrium between the two forces that once were opposing. For this reason, the card portrays the image of a young man in the midst of gaining knowledge. 3 swords stand upright, piercing the book of thought, unlocking the living knowledge as it flies off the pages. They take flight and enter the receptive grail of the mind, a fertile ground where their seeds can germinate and develop fully if properly tended to. Isn't that beautiful? Isn't that beautiful? I love that we also have the Two of Swords out here. I love that I even read from the book on that, because how perfect. I love that the Magician is sitting right there. Like, truly, something is happening today between Taurus reading and your reading where, I mean, there's no way in hell I would have been able to pull these cards myself. Like, this is why I love tarot. I fucking love it. So anyway, okay. I mean, it could really even be like trusting yourself to be an authority, right? Because you have the knowledge, you know, the experiences, that the big bang, you know, the creativity, the new ideas, the duality with the Two of Swords. Even too, like, I think, you know, Gemini being able to take multiple different concepts, right? Like, understand them, work with them, form them, you know, in a way that makes sense not only for you, but also other people, right? Like, taking different modalities, ideologies, whatever, right? And just kind of like weaving them into something that is your own, and even having the ability to understand and adapt. We have the Five of Pentacles here, which it's interesting that it's like right in the middle. This card specifically, like in this deck, you know, we can see that there's these two people that seem to have been kicked out of like whatever this place is, right? Like, this person looks ill. This person kind of looks like they're taking care of it. You know, it's like the message with the Five of Cups, Five of Pentacles, is literally being left out in the cold or kicked out into the cold. It is feeling, it's the scarcity mindset. It's the fear of lack. You know, it's the fear that comes with, you know, like your security. You know, like, is there a concern about your security, your stability? You know, are you worried that you're going to be, that you're going to lose housing, or that, you know, you're not going to be able to afford your lifestyle, you know? Um, Also, fives are nothing to like pitch a tent and get stuck in, right? They are transitionary energies. So, however it may look right now or however it may feel right now, it's an energy that you are moving through. And too, like I also was hearing about being careful about how this is feeling in your body and if you get sick, because the book talks about, like, I vaguely remember, the book talks about the Five of Pentacles is a card that implies some form of financial loss or hardship. In some cases it can even mean illness. The Suit of Pentacles deals with the material aspects of life. We need to make sure we're not only looking at the financial aspects, but also physical health. More often than not, this card relates to financial strain. However, make sure you're also paying attention to your physical well being. Just as you take care of your house that shelters you, your body also needs to be maintained and cared for. And it's kind of just like one of those things of recognizing how, being in a state of, again, fear, of lack, stressed about resources, which is totally legitimate, totally understandable, right? It is very fucking stressful to either lose a source of income, for income to drastically, drop, or, to lose access to care or, resources in some capacity, that again, like, have to do with your sense of security. But like that, the stress that creates in your body could make you sick. So, self-care, like, just be sure that you are taking care of your body, and, whatever stress that you feel in your body, try to move it in some capacity, right? Like, whether it's walking, or I have a vibration plate that I've been standing on for like 15 minutes every day, just, transmuting the energy, right? Like, not kind of allowing it to get stuck. Dancing too, and it doesn't have to be for like hours or whatever, but just when if you start kind of feeling that in your body, wherever it is, move that part of your body, right? Like, if you feel, tension in your chest, take 5 deep breaths, very expansive breaths to your chest, right? And breathe out the stress, even if you have to do that 20 times a day, right? Like, don't again, like, don't allow it to pitch a tent and get stuck there. We have the Seven of Cups, which talks about options. And it's interesting that, their head is in the clouds here. It's a cups card, so it has to do with our emotions, but their feet are off the ground, head is in the clouds. That to me feels very airy, very mental, very, just kind of like on the hamster wheel, daydreamy, right? I feel like it's a thing about just being sure that you are still grounded, because I also kind of feel like between these the Three of Swords, Five of Pentacles, Seven of Cups, that could spiral if you let it. It could spiral into like just, too many possibilities. And then it just starts getting muddled. And then, I mean, these are dark clouds to me. Like, it doesn't look like there's a bunch of sunlight and it's, like the beautiful white fluffy clouds. Like, to me, in this card specifically, it feels like a dark cloud. And so again, right, like, be sure that you are grounded, even, having a grounding practice in some capacity. again, none of these things really have to take up a ton of your time. It could be just, imagining, rooting down to the core of earth, right? Just quickly, boom, you're grounded. It could be standing in dirt, bare feet. It could be, of course, like getting your hands into some soil, like, replanting some plants, or eventually we'll be able to get into gardens or whatever, right? But like something to where it reminds you to ground yourself. Because again, right, like just too many different options, it gets confusing, it gets muddled. And also too, it's like that analysis paralysis thing. And something that I have also been reminding myself of a lot is to not make decisions out of fear, or from a place of fear, from a place of scarcity, from a place of lack, because I feel like I have done that pretty much my entire life. And sure, it got me somewhere, but 100% of the time, I hated the place where I ended up. It wasn't good. It didn't feel good. It didn't necessarily logically make sense either. Like, but my motivation behind it was fear. I was afraid that I wasn't going to have enough money. I didn't know where my money was going to come. I wasn't trusting the divine. I wasn't trusting myself. I wasn't trusting God, source, the plan, right? Like I wasn't trusting that the next thing was going to be there. So I do feel like that's the message here, is to almost, try your best to separate yourself, take your head out of the clouds, right? Like by getting grounded and being able to look at it objectively. And too, the Seven of Cups always reminds me of like the Marie Kondo effect. Does it feel good? And if it doesn't, don't do it. That's hard to do when we're in scarcity or lack, right? Because again, 100% of the things that I did out of fear and lack, 100% of them did not feel good to me. Like my body, my intuition was screaming, don't do it. But I'm like, fuck, I have to. Like, I feel like I can't see any other options. But what that did was it cut off the possibility of other options, more perfect options that I did feel good about, from coming in, because I wasn't looking for them anymore. I found the solution. Did I feel good about it? No, but at least it was there, right? And I didn't trust that something I did feel good about would ever show up, because I was scared. So, again, the Marie Kondo effect, like, does it feel good? If not, don't do it. Again, I know that's probably easier said than done. And as much as you can, right? We have the Devil card down here, which I feel like is so fucking perfect, because truly the Devil card is like, it's almost like this Five of Pentacles and the Devil card kind of playing off of each other here, because the Devil card is the things that control us. It's the illusions. It is that fear. I mean, look how wrapped up this person is. They can't fly. Their wings are all messed up too. They're like rooted down into, I don't even know what this is. Is that a heart? It kind of looks like a heart, which is actually kind of interesting that this Devil card is coming up between the Seven of Cups and the King of Cups, which is like very, cups being heart chakra, our feelings, intuition, trust too, right? Love. Let's see. The winged man hovers over an endless wasteland, shackled to the of his own heart. Machination. He is an image of despair in the midst of absolute isolation. His wings are spread wide open, ready to take flight, yet he is unable to do so. Perhaps all that is needed is the will to remove himself from the lashings of his own design. No one holds back his wings. No one roots him in his cares. It is through his own attachments that he is confined. The devil card speaks to our internal vices, those parts of ourselves that we keep hidden. It is reflective of the indulgences, addictions, and excess that we permit into our lives. These are weaknesses that make us vulnerable and perpetually keep old wounds open. This tends to happen if we've strayed too far from our spiritual side and focused more on the materialistic aspects of life. Have you overindulged in the fruits of the world, eschewing those of your soul? This is something that only you can answer through reflection and introspection. Remember that the devil card is not about subjugation without end. It is a card that calls you to be active in achieving your freedom, to take action and free yourself from burdensome attachments. You only need to choose to do so. Dang. That was real. The King of Cups says, though the ship lists dangerously to one side, the King of Cups stands tall and majestic, assured in his ability to safeguard his crew and their craft. Though the murky waters swirl and thrash about him, he remains poised and self-controlled. While the heaving waters are not being taken lightly, he and his trustworthy crew have navigated harsher seas before. He stands as one who has ridden the waves of the emotions timelessly and understands their strengths and weaknesses intimately. He is lord over his feelings, master of his emotions. When the King of Cups appears as a person in your life, he can take the form of someone who is caring and thoughtful. Blah, blah, blah. I mean, it could be somebody. This person naturally knows what to say and when to say it. He can comfort others with a well-placed word or gentle, loving touch. When this card appears in the oracles of your spread, it can also bring a period when you yourself will demonstrate certain qualities that the King of Cups possess. For instance, you might be less reactive under pressure and better able to keep things in perspective. I feel like that's what we were talking about. With this it definitely does feel like a period of growth, for sure. Like I said, even too, right? We start over here with the ones, the threes, the fives, even a 7. Then we have the 15 and the King of Cups being the highest expression of the suit too. There is this progression that is happening here. And I love that the King of Cups is the last card in the spread too, because it really is like keeping a level head. Even, like riding the waves of your emotions, not necessarily attaching yourself to one, good, bad, or otherwise, right? But just like kind of recognizing that, they're passing through. There's information to be found here in the Devil card, because what is it? That is anchoring you down. Two of Swords. Again, duality, right? Like they're holding these two faces here. It's like, it talks about decisions. There could be, of course, multiple decisions coming up here for you. And this message about navigating them, being aware of these big waves. Also, too, trusting yourself, trusting your intuition, right? Like trusting yourself to be guided through those things. I'm going to leave it there. Thank you so much for allowing me to read your cards. I will talk to you soon. Bye.